Wait, squishy keycaps, squishy keyboard, Minecraft switches? But what if I told you that's just the beginning? Because in this video, I'm building a keyboard with silicone keycaps. Yeah, they really shouldn't squish like that. But then I decided, let's take it one step further with a silicone keyboard. Now you're probably thinking, Hipyo, why would you do this? You're completely unhinged, you're completely insane. Keyboards shouldn't squish. But then what if I told you that they also thock? We'll talk about that later. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. Howdy hey, I'm Hipyo Tech, and as you saw earlier, this is going to be a very interesting video, and I'll be looking at the keycaps soon, because you've probably never seen keycaps like that and are wondering where I got them from. But first, let's check out this keyboard, because I'm going to be honest, it's been sitting in my closet for almost a year now. And yes, I had forgotten about it. What? It's like a void. I put something in there, next thing I know, oh, I've had that this whole time. Now, this is the Hipyo June. And when it first came out, it was incredibly exciting because it was one of the first silicone keyboards. Now, if you're anything like me, the first thing you think of when you think of a silicone keyboard is, oh, it's gonna be squishy, which means maybe it's gonna absorb a lot of sound and it's gonna thock. And the first part is true, it is squishy. The second part we'll be putting to the test later. Now, since I purchased this, it isn't actually the only silicone keyboard out there. In fact, the Yunzi C68, a keyboard I only did a short on and then gave to a family member, is a cat-shaped silicone keyboard, which costs $90 fully built. Which brings me to the price of this keyboard, as it's $135 completely bare bones. That means no switches, stabilizers, or even cables. However, what it does have is a very thick case and a very cute cloud design. It also has the curiously added benefit of not needing any anti-slip feet because the whole entire board is anti-slip feet. And don't worry, I'll be getting into the squishy keycaps very soon. But who would I be without showing you the fact that yes, this is indeed flexible, which is a very weird thing at first. Like, I've built hundreds of keyboards and having a keyboard squish like this is nerve-wracking to me. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm breaking the keyboard. Nope, just silicone. Sadly though, this does mean it's lacking the benefit of being able to kill a man, which is honestly the best benefit of a lot of custom keyboards. Not that I would know or anything. Now, after I got this thing and initially unboxed it, this gave me the idea of, what if I build an all silicone keyboard? And I thought, oh, I could even do the dampening as silicone. Like, who needs foam? I can just make my own. Now, mixing silicone is really annoying, so I was just gonna use Flex Seal because Flex Seal is genuinely incredible for this type of mod. I've done it a couple times in the past, but then I realized that the case has no room. Like, that little gap that you see is occupied by the hot swap sockets, so there's actually no room for dampening in this case. Maybe like the thinnest possible layer of PE foam, but it was time to put in the stabilizers. And then I hit another roadblock because I was gonna use these random stabilizers that I have like 10 packs of sitting around from some random company that sent me them, and then they didn't fit in the keyboard. Like, they literally just didn't fit. Should I have checked that before I lubed them? Yes. But instead, I just decided to go with some TX stabilizers, which are incredibly easy to install. They just clip right in, no screws required. And then instead of taking these apart and brush lubing them, I just shot lube into them with a Kinetic Labs lube syringe. Now, it's actually really easy to over lube them using this method, but then you can just use a brush and pull some out. Now, if you're new to keyboards and you have no idea what stabilizers are or lube or anything like that, well, they keep your big keys stable, and lubing them makes it so they don't rattle. They're an essential part to any keyboard build. If you'd like more info on keyboard building, then I do have a bunch of beginner guides on my channel. Next, it was time for the switches, and of course, I had to do something a little bit more unique because, I mean, it's an all silicone keyboard build. Unfortunately, I was informed that they don't make silicone keyboard switches and that it would be physically impossible, and because of that, I picked the next best thing. Minecraft switches. Well, not actually Minecraft switches. They're the Diamond Avalon linear switches, which look absolutely exquisite and come in at 69 cents a switch. I mean, come on, that's pretty nice. Now, at its face, it's a linear switch, so it feels nice and smooth. It's got a little bit of factory lube on it, and I've put it on my keyboard. Now, I'm really good with numbers, and I've calculated that a bajillion of you have recommended me to try these, so here I am trying them for you. Now, between these switches and most other linears, I was kind of underwhelmed. Like, these really didn't provide any different of an experience. However, they do look different. So there you go. Now, I will say they do sound a little bit clackier and sharper than like a Marandi or a Box Linear or something like that. But these aren't what you guys are here for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the star of the show, the Silicone Keycaps. Now, funny enough, these keycaps that are made by Skylung were kind of everywhere when I first joined the keyboard hobby. Like, Epomaker was trying to bundle them with every keyboard that they sold. And if you're a really OG Hipyo Tech fan, shout out, leave a comment, then you've probably seen me use these before in a video years ago. Now you're probably thinking, oh, Hipyo, a silicone keycap, there's no way that's gonna work on your keyboard. This is absolutely absurd. Well, I gotta give it to them. These are actually incredibly creatively made because it's a silicone shell on a plastic housing. Each keycap is its own special silicone over its own special keycap mold. This allows them to still feel incredibly rigid and fit on your keyboard, but then you can pull them off and squish them like so. That's how I was squishing them in the intro. Now, if you were crazy enough, you could use them without their silicone shell. I have no idea why you would do that. Now, I got these keycaps from Epomaker before they sold out, and they kind of hover between $20 to $60. However, they do have 3 different colors and a couple different kitting options, and peeling them is a very good fidget toy. I will say, one massive disappointment is that the kitting for these is really not that great, and the profile for them is really tall compared to standard cherry profile. This means 2 things. 1, if you have alternate board layouts, then it's probably not going to work for you because the keys will just be missing. And then 2, if you like typing on shorter profile keycaps, then these are just gonna feel absolutely weird to you. Now, when I looked at these in the past, I noted that they gave my keyboard a much deeper sound. And I think this is because the silicone kind of helps to absorb a lot of the sound, similar to a silicone dampening weight in your keyboard. And because this is silicone keycaps and a silicone keyboard, I feel like this is gonna sound relatively deep. Now, the first thing you might notice with this keyboard being entirely built is that it's really ugly. Like, I don't know why I chose green, orange, and gray to go with a purple case. Oh wait, it's because this is the only color of these keycaps that is in stock anywhere. I can't help but think it's because these keycaps performed really poorly. Like, I have not heard about these ever since I made the video on them years ago. There's been no new colors, no new profiles, no new competitors, just the same silicone keycaps. But that's actually where the problems start to begin. Because these things are silicone, they pick up dust and finger goop and everything like that really easy, and these are generally just pretty awful to use. You're looking at footage of them from years ago on the Epomaker board, but they're effectively the same. Now you're probably wondering, Hipyo, what about the keyboard? Well, the June is fine. It's a fine keyboard. There's recently been a round 2 with a lot more interesting color options. However, I will say there are competitors that are silicone keyboards that come fully built, so if you're on a budget, this definitely isn't the best choice. Now, you'll hear it in the final sound test, but I did tape mod it to make it sound a little bit deeper because this thing was actually surprisingly pretty clacky. Until the tape, of course. So I'll be leaving you with the sound test, and this was a lot shorter of a video than normal, so I'm really wondering what you think. Was this too fast-paced? Do you want to hear me, like, grumble a lot more? I don't know. Leave a comment. Do you have any other weird keyboard ideas, or keyboard dark secrets, or keyboard,